Hey folks, welcome to Two-Bite Tabletop with Bow Ties and Bugbear. I'm Stephen Whitmore, also known as @Bowties and Bugbear on Twitter, and this is our 4th episode. I'm super excited to have you all here. I didn't know if this would get 4 episodes in or if it would fall apart, but it looks like we're going to go. We've got 12 episodes planned for this season. I'm super excited to have you here. To my technical, for the purposes of this recording, left, even though it's really to my right, is Kat. Kat, say something about yourself.
I'm Kat. My pronouns are they, them. I write adventures for D&D, and I really like playing TCRPGs, and I'm excited to get into this final session of Dream Askew with you guys, so yeah.
Yay!
And
Put me on the spot, Steven.
I'm sorry. It's true. I should have,
okay.
I meant to give everyone questions to be like, what's your favorite moment from last week? But, and to Kat's left, we have Kyle Durkee.
Hi!
Also Evensong.
That's right. Weird, sort of psychic hippie. Just rolling through the world.
And if we are going to our numbered left, although it has completely lost any left, right, or clockwise significance, below me we have Disco Pete.
What? Oh,
or Pete
hi.
Schwab. Say a little bit
Yeah.
about yourself, also playing Rhyme.
I'm just playing this game like it's a role-playing game set after the apocalypse. So I'm just playing this game to get ideas about how I'm going to bring about the apocalypse through weather manipulation and whatnot. It's so you guys are helping me formulate new plans. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sounds like it's going well. And finally, last but not least, we have Saint Stella.
Hi, I'm Saint Stella.
Also playing Knots.
Yep. Yeah. I honestly am having a really good time playing this. I like the free form vibe of it. I wasn't really sure how it was going to work at first in terms of not having roles and not having to beat anything, that it's almost purely role play with a few suggestions. It's really scratching the performative improv itch for me.
And you said itch, and I just had a sympathetic itch in my beard. So last week on Two-Bite Tabletop, we learned that there is a bit of a storm in the psychic maelstrom. We learned that Evensong has an uncle named Tommy who is a little bit wild, marched to a beat of his own drum. We learned that Jackbird has a sweet 70s Cadillac with awesome tail fins and room for at least 7 Danny DeVitos.
Speaking of which, should we ever get the lock in that guest spot with
I wasn't able to launch the Ko-Fi in time to get a cameo from Danny DeVito.
Oh my god!
That's so close.
We'll have to. It means we'll have to reprise this for season 2, or an in between season 1. But I did come up with a name for the genetic project that resulted in clones of Danny DeVito, and that is the DeVito Code.
Go away.
No,
go away right now.
No, it's canon.
Look at that.
And I wrote it
that was in my contract.
Wrote it into the description of the previous episode.
No Dan Brown related puns. That was clearly in my contract.
Right.
Is that the guy's
name? You need to read the writers.
Let's move on. Last we saw it, we were with Rhyme, Jackbird, Tahani, a whole
And the gang
cadre.
had left.
The gangs, yes. Brian's gang had left,
Mhm.
and which was done through some wizardry by Rhyme.
Mhm.
So I don't know how you managed to pull that one out.
It
But
was
you did.
fantastic.
It was a real Obi-Wan and the crate dragon kind of moment, if you know what I mean.
And Tahani was led by their guide, Betty, who had a clone named Crocker inside a piece of crockery hanging around her neck.
Right.
my-
I also 100% forgot the name of Tahani's truck.
Gilbert.
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 Oh,
that
that's
was it.
right.
Gilbert.
Gilbert's gone. Gilbert's lost.
R.I.P.
Yes.
For one.
And Tahani is asked to return to the Enclave.
Mm-hmm.
We're smoking Gulwaz Blue.
Ha!
At
You're
the-
like you're an old Russian lady.
Anyways,
Anyways,
Right?
we only bring this up because one of Tahani's regular moves is to offer someone a cigarette. That's where that
Yes.
started.
Mhm.
Wait,
And-
is it really?
Got lost.
And
Got
so
lost.
that was, I thought that would be my opening move.
Sweet.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. So here we are. And so Jackbird, I got to get back to the Enclave. Your ride looks pretty full. Can I help? Can we like attach some stuff to the roof?
We can tie a Danny to the roof, or we can put a Danny in the trunk, and there'll be room for you. Let me go. Rhyme, do you mind figuring out the situation for us?
How willing are the Dannies to like clown car into the trunk, Rhyme?
Well, the Dannies, I'm gonna point out that the Dannies made a pretty clutch move back there, getting these gangers off our back. So
Right.
I feel as though, speaking on behalf of the Dannies presently, I haven't consulted with them, but they may fit in the trunk, but we're gonna need some accommodations back there. Can we leave the trunk popped open? Can they kind of do like a 1980s station wagon sitting backwards type situation? Do we have
Sure.
any
If they wanted to, absolutely. Just
couch?
they have to make
'Cause you
sure
don't need
that
a
none of the
rearview mirror.
supplies come out of the trunk. So, like, if they could just like sit, so that none of the supplies come out, that'd be great.
Point of order. Are there any supplies? We don't have Gilbert. There's no.
So
Well,
all
there's
of-
the
that
supplies
came
that I was
in,
supposed
like,
to
what are
trade
we-
off with Tahani, and now
I
that
see.
can't happen. So
Okay.
and
we're
did
just bringing the
Okay.
supplies
how many
back.
did Brian take any of the supplies? I can't remember.
None.
No, we scared him off. So.
Yeah.
I will also point out that, as you recall, it was like there's like a fierce thunderstorm going on.
It's true.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like, if you leave like the trunk open or something, not only the people in there, but all the goods in there will get wet.
Okay.
Oh,
Do we
shoot.
have some kind of tarp? Can we move some kind of tarp over the top?
Well,
of
I mean, the
them?
other option is people could sit in people's laps. I'm not willing to offer that, but like you guys can figure that out in the back.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I mean, I got Danny sitting in my lap all day, all night. Like that's that's our
I'm
standard
not
move.
going to read into that too much, but sure. Yeah, okay. That can work.
All right, cool.
All right.
Yeah.
I think as this is going
And,
on, the radio, Jackbird's radio again goes, come in, Jackbird. Checking in again. I see the weather is very bad. It's been a while. You've been away for almost an hour now. Are you on the way? Is everything okay? Over.
I will reply back. I will pick up the radio and just be like, yeah. So we kind of have an issue. Gilbert's been taken, so the supplies that we were going to get are not coming with us. So we're bringing back the supplies that we did have back with us. The thunderstorm's very severe, but it's fine. Everyone's okay. No one's been hurt, to my knowledge, physically. Yeah. That's all I got for you. We'll be back soon.
I have a question from Varied Scarcity.
Yeah.
What does this lack of resources mean for the community?
Probably does. I mean, our two desires for the Varied Scarcities was paranoia, right, and scrappy DIY. So I feel that the supplies, the lost supplies, will probably result in just slightly less food than usual for everybody to go around for this week. It probably means that.
Well, I'm asking. I want. What I'm really wondering is, are there specific things that the community needed? For instance, like fix something, or to patch something up, or to create something. Was there anything in this shipment that can't be replaced and was necessary?
Ryan's tea, for one.
I'll
one
pop in.
for the tea.
I mean, it's like, I wouldn't say necessary, but like it's a community.
Hey, it was
building
necessary
effort.
to you. So.
And there's a little. I'll admit there's a little resentment towards Tahani, like a little like little. You fucked up, buddy.
Get him.
I think maybe the paranoia. Sorry. I think maybe the paranoia would kick in too, of like how they know we were going to be there. Who's been talking?
Yeah.
Like why didn't this happen? It was supposed to be secret. How did Brian find out we were going to be there? I thought you changed the routes. Like all this little whispering in the camp, maybe.
Oh, I think I feel like that conversation is going to be happening once the Cadillac is moving, and I'm stuffed in the back of this car with a bunch of Danny DeVitos, and we're just like looking over and kind of like,
and who's this bitch with you? And did she spill the beans?
Who is Betty Crocker? I don't know Betty Crocker.
I can assume. So, thinking about just kind of like the enclave in general, I can assume we can provide ourselves food of some sort, like vegetables and probably some form of like meat, which probably won't be an issue and probably not supplies that are being looked after. I could almost see something.
So I'm the thing that I am like, before we make that assumption, one of the things, we're living on a college campus. Does that provide enough space? How much space does that actually provide for farmland and for ranching? Because like growing cattle, growing pigs, things like that takes space. You need space and you need grass.
If you think about like chickens or quail.
There's a point too to be made that sorry, Kath's character, I can't remember her name right now. It's so cool though. Jackbird. But one of the things points that you're making was that Jackbird kind of specializes more in like luxury items. So maybe it's not necessarily a scarcity of like people are going hungry, but maybe now people are going to be bigger assholes to each other because they don't have just like whatever small luxury just gave them some moment of respite from
Oh no! Are we going to get a post-apocalyptic full Karen?
Oh,
is that what's going to happen?
That'll be hilarious.
Probably.
I was
like
it's
probably more like not a loss of needs, but a loss of wants that are just going to make people considerably more miserable. There might be certain things that they like. I don't know. Someone might wanted a nice, really nice. Trying to think of
cup of tea.
Cup of tea. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm really sorry.
Oil, like cooking oil. That makes things nicer. Like we have the basics, but without those extras, that you can't really make oil and stuff like.
Like even salt, like salt.
So
the things that like Jackbird would pride themselves on being like, you get to live in like the apocalypse with like these things that you have wanted since like before the apocalypse, and you can still have those. And now those people that normally get a usual supply are not going to get those. Or even first timers who are like coming to Jackbird being like, there's these things that I want that I like miss from before everything went to shit, right? And like Jackbird being like, I got you, and then now this is the first time that is an issue. So
this is the first time that Jackbird's ever not come through. Like, how's
I
Jackbird feeling
wouldn't
about all
say,
this?
I mostly was saying for like people who this might be their first time asking something out of Jackbird, and this being like the first time they have to realize that Jackbird doesn't always come through with things.
Not
I
a
wouldn't
good
say
first
that it's
impression.
probably not the first time that this has happened. It's probably happened a couple
Mhm.
times. So
But is it just not really a big deal? Or is there something what I'm getting at is just is there we just lost an entire supply run, right?
mhm.
And is this actually important to the community, or is it just meh? We'll get it next time.
I think
It
it's
depends on who you're asking,
disappointment.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Depends on who you're asking. Depends
Yeah.
on, I would say for the people who rely on it often to have these things that they don't normally get to have, like nice food, nice drinks, nice, like clothing that they don't normally get to have. That's something now that they are not having after being able to have a steady supply of it for a few months at this point. And that'll probably cause some sort
Well,
of like
sure. So what I'm getting at is the I'm sorry, I'm just trying to maintain the sort of integrity for me. Like I'm trying to build the world out so I
Totally.
understand it. There is if this has happened several times before and it hasn't destroyed Jackbird's reputation, then that indicates that it's like it'll be fine the next time you'll come through with it. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So all right. All right.
So
Well, another
That's just
angle
what
on
I
that though
wanted
is
to figure out.
I also wonder
okay.
for Tahani also is the loss of Gilbert, like, is this now a loss of like your whole livelihood? Is this
Mhm.
like
Oh,
a desperate
absolutely. Yeah,
situation
like
for
there's
you? Like what?
it
And
was
then does that cut
subsistence.
off like
It
yeah?
it
But
was
does that cut off this
subsistence.
whole line of supply for Jackbird? The loss of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gilbert? Like
So
what?
I've
Maybe
I've
Yeah.
maybe
I've
that's where
I've
the
racked
pain
up my
point
own
is.
token because one of my weak moves is to run of something that the queer enclave doesn't have steady access to, and so I have really like me losing Gilbert has really tightened that belt. Right? It's
Mhm.
that supply is no longer there. I'm not going to
Mhm.
go out and get it for you anymore, or for us now.
And so, Kyle, to like answer your question even further with that in mind, like, yes, Jackbird has been able to find a way to now be able to take care of said supply line if something doesn't come through the week prior. Like the next week, it's fine; they'll figure it out. But now, because an entire supply line has basically been wiped out because
Yeah,
we've lost Gilbert, like it's going to be considerably harder to figure it out in a week. So,
it is. Yeah. I'm also like, yeah, I think that's the huge part of it. And like,
mhm.
did we have anything in, so we were missing Rhymes tea. Is there anything else that was going to be like specifically useful for any rituals or anything this week?
I'd like
Besides,
to say that Jackbird normally because I think that Knots always like demonstrated last week will give Jackbird extra stuff that they find and whatever because I think that Jackbird will always bring a little something for Marie for
yeah,
Knots like some
absolutely.
chamomile tea or some Tylenol, some like painkillers and always make sure that there's a little something to sort of ease Marie's pain. Knots doesn't want anything, but they just always give Jackbird everything to make sure that, like, Jackbird, here I kept you a pack of chamomile tea. I kept you a pack of painkillers, like something, an extra blanket, something that would comfort a sick person. So I think maybe not having that would be the only thing that sort of like really gets to not, if that's
That's
fair.
a No, that's totally fair. Like I was thinking along the lines of like maybe there's medicine that people need that
Yeah.
Jackbird can find in supply lines. Like maybe there's things that like little children want that
Yeah.
like they can get because their parents haven't broken it to them that like hey, kind of the world kind of sucks out there right now, right? Or like even for like little like babies, like maybe there's babies in the enclave that we like are like trying to all collectively as a community take care of.
Yeah.
And like maybe there's things that, you know, Jackbird supplies like that. Like, I don't know. Formula probably isn't like one of the biggest things. There are other ways to take care of that, but like,
Sure.
who knows?
There's so I do have a question about timeline.
Yeah.
Where is how many miles was that rendezvous point?
I think we said we'd gone out like, I mean, Knott's
can't
called
remember.
in an hour, but I think we said it was like there was a significant amount of waiting as well. So
Mm-hmm.
you've been out for probably 2 hours, I think, based on what I was.
It's like
I
maybe
was
maybe
guessing.
20 miles,
Yeah.
something like
I
that.
was thinking like 20 or 30 miles probably. And then we sat there and waited until you got here.
So that's like 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I didn't mean to talk in American miles per hour.
Right.
So just sorry.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry to
20,
be so centered.
well, 20 miles. A kilometer is 0.6 miles, so it would be wait.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I get the idea.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
need exact. I know you can drive about an hour,
Yeah.
a kilometer in an hour. It's
So,
great.
so about 29 kilometers.
Yeah.
Something in that realm. 28,
Gotcha.
29.
Yeah.
There's okay, cool.
So yeah, we've been out there a while.
Driver, shall we get going? Is everyone okay in the back seat, or do you guys need more room? I can push my seat up a little. That's really all I can offer.
Yeah.
Tahani's
fine.
quite tall, but is like taking up the middle seat.
Mhm.
I also feel
So
that
like,
there's
like poking between the seat, the really tall
Yeah.
person.
yeah, I feel like there's one Danny in the
And
middle.
you know
Like
it's
it's
stick
one of
shift
like
too, right?
I'm thinking it's one of those like even if it's manual transmission, I'm thinking it's a 3 on the tree because
Sure.
I really want one of those armrests in the middle. Like I want the bench seat in the front
Mhm.
with the armrest and one of the Dannies there, and like there's being cigarettes put out in the ashtray, like right in between them.
Yeah.
Like I really
Gawas.
want that to, because that's like,
Gawa.
yeah,
The driver's like up here to the steering wheel and like knees all the way up to like their chest, like trying to drive. So we're going a little bit slower than usual, but not that much. Yeah.
yeah. All right, yeah. So I turned to one of the Dannies. Actually, well, I turned to the leader of the Dannies, and that would be Rhyme, and I'm like, I can tell there's something going on here. Why do you wish I never arrived?
My tea shipment. It's important to my ceremonies.
Can't I
And
couldn't have helped that. I
it's
can
not. Now we're gonna have to capture one of these little weed monsters and make some hemp infusion. That's
look. I can.
terrible.
I'm not a stranger to the arcane. I I've been training with Betty for the last.
And who's Betty, by the way? Who is this new person? We were
She's
told that this meeting was going to be with one person.
she's my guide.
Yeah.
I'm security here. This is my business. Your guide in what way?
She's my guide. She's been my spiritual guide for the last 3 years, and she has been teaching me arcane arts. Without her, I would not know the safe routes through the desert, and I know that this is not always a perfect method, and today was the worst case scenario. But she knew that I was in distress, and she was able to come and help me find your good graces. She cannot join the enclave. She lives a solitary life. Her presence would potentially bring about the destruction of any civilization, whether it's the arcology or a
That's not great.
or the enclave. She is a force to be reckoned with. Her energy.
Why
protects-
is she in the car with us? Then I don't want to bring her back to. I don't want to bring her back to my home. Like,
I'm
let's
sorry.
send her.
Am I missing something? And I like lift up one of the Danny's legs. She's not here. You're seeing things.
Is she gone?
She
Did she get in
walked
the
off
car with
into
us?
she walked
Okay.
off into the distance.
Oh man, I
But
thought she
yeah,
got in the car with
before
us.
we started this episode,
Okay,
Oh,
all
okay.
right.
I believe
Like,
that's what I
questioning what's
said.
happening.
Would
Ryan was
Jackbird,
just like,
sorry, Jackbird, would you please let me know when you are about halfway back to
oh boy, these
the
damn gangs.
Is that a you as Eventide, or is that just a
You don't
Kyle
know.
question?
You know it's
Oh,
not.
okay.
You don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't know what's going on.
We're probably
In the meantime, the boys are fighting with each other. That's fun.
Yeah. fun. I'd say we're probably about halfway through at this point after that revelation comes that Ryan's seeing things. So
Okay.
I mean,
maybe I should stop giving you the
just-
hemp tea. I don't know what's going on here.
it's divine inspiration.
Ryan,
You know.
Ryan, if there's something I can do to help your ritual, I will do it. But let me know
Grow
when
some
you get
tea. Like, can you make matcha? I don't know.
back. I'll see what you've got access. I'll see what you've got access to.
The road on either side of the road is sort of like raised sort of hills that are not like, they're not sort of like rolling hills. There's like sort of hills on the side of the road, and then like flat land for a while, and then there'll be like a tree or a bush or something like that, and then like mesas and things like that. But there's like the occasional hill, and as you're driving back, you suddenly see what looks like someone's head sort of popping up occasionally from behind a hill, and then popping up, and then popping up.
No.
Like a regular human-sized head, or like a giant big
Is there a
head
body
popping
attached to it? Can we?
Yeah.
Can we? Yeah. Okay. So regular human. Sorry, Cat. I cut you off. Regular human-sized head with a body attached.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you're just seeing their head though because they're behind a hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the third time this happens, Jackbird's just gonna be like, is anyone else seeing the head coming out of the hills? Or am I going insane? Is whatever Ryan's having also getting to me, or?
Yeah. I like. Do you guys see the head?
I see it.
And you don't recognize it. Jackbird, on the third time it pops up, you realize it's Evensong skipping through the desert.
Oh my god. All right, so Evensong is skipping along. It's raining, is that correct? Like you're like jumping in muddy puddles?
Yeah, it's like thunder.
Yep. It's great.
Whoa.
Is it you, or like an apparition of you? Uh-oh.
Oh geez. Okay, Pete's reconnecting. There we go.
Wow.
Maybe. Okay, good. Let's give it a
Sorry,
second.
guys. Psychic Maelstrom got me.
It did. How very rude. And I am actually going to take
I was upset.
another little token
Ooh.
because
Still not working great.
I have drawn unwanted attention to my movement.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness. I just want to make sure, is everyone cool that I took a token for losing something important to the enclave?
I hope dogs eat your face.
Okay.
For that. Yeah.
Oof.
All right.
Whoa. Is there now a gang of dogs, the face-eating dogs? Is that?
Yep. It's canon
There's
now.
just
All right.
there's
So
just an Eventide slowly just jumping through the hills. So
Yeah, just skipping merrily along in the middle of the storm.
Yeah, did we find out what that was? Is it just
no, just
okay?
let it happen.
Just eventide. Yep.
Let it happen.
Is it Eventide or Evensong? Did I get your?
I don't. I kind of
Eventide.
doubt they care. I kind of doubt they
Supposed to
care.
be
Well, no.
eventide,
The thing is
Evensong is fine.
because I that's what I wrote in your nameplate, and it's been that for every episode.
Yeah, no, even song is fine. Eventide is what you call them during the day. Even song is what you call them in the evening.
Right. Oh, jeez. I apologize. We will. Oh well.
And since we filmed this in the evening,
That's true.
you know, obviously that's what happened.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
You're fine. Let's just move.
All right, so Eventide is jumping through along the mesa.
Yeah, and you guys didn't stop to sort of investigate, so now you can no longer see them.
Okay.
Do you all know that person? Should we go and pick them
Yes.
up?
And I am sure you will meet them as soon as we get into the enclave. They'll probably be the first person right there. So.
And I mean, honestly, do you see any room left? I mean, I know it's a big car, but you know, we're already kind of wall to wall here. Plus, there's rain coming.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been hearing the claps of thunder.
Fair enough. It's true. We wouldn't want to let a wet individual in here.
Stella, I am curious. Does your character have a car?
Have a car? No, I was gonna suggest that they have like a Harley. Like that.
Hell yeah.
Well, motorcycle.
Yeah. And it probably has like, like a hitch on the back, or it doesn't have to. But I feel like it's like a bike that they've fixed a number of times, probably has like a whole bunch of other parts, but was originally like a tank of a bike.
Nice.
And I was going to say, like, if there was any further delays that Knots would head out, but because they talked to Jackbird and Jackbird was like, we're on the way back now, I feel like Knots would have waited an hour and then headed back. So that's why I was kind of waiting to see if there was any other delays.
I like the idea of Marie having like a sidecar too.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a machine gun attached to it too.
No guns.
Oh my god.
The sidecar.
Wow.
Well, with a flower in the barrel.
That got real aggressive real fast.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys, if anything else happens, like I was kind of waiting to be like, oh, if it took that long, then Knots would head out. But if you're close to being back, I think Knots would be like waiting at the gate. Do we have like a gate? Did we talk about that to keep people out?
Like we do. I feel like we do. If there are gangs roving around, accosting traders and things like that,
probably
I feel
like
like we would have
checkpoint or something, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like one of the first things we would have done as a community is create protection for our members.
I was almost thinking like we would use like some sort of natural barrier. That's what I was hoping for.
We're on a
well,
hill, right?
If you want to do actual natural protection as they did in medieval times, you create a wall of hawthorn trees.
Yeah, I was thinking like some of the crazy mutant plants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
That's
would
legit.
be like, and I think we had talked about the queens would be like hiding in them as a first line of defense.
True.
That's what I was thinking.
Knots would be in one of these like trees that probably like has a treehouse type thing, like a watch, and have the old binoculars and be watching out and kind of timing it and waiting to see if they get back.
Awesome.
Can you describe the binoculars? I want to know, are they like opera glasses?
Yeah.
Or are they
I want to know,
are they like Dame Edna glasses as binoculars?
Yeah, I mean, like everything else here, I feel like they're like, they were binoculars and maybe like fell apart and then they're like fixed. There's little straps and things like holding them together and stuff.
You
can
can't
also
really
still be
use
like
them
gilded
all
at the same time.
Yeah,
it's totally good. There's but you can't like use them for too long because the magnification is different on each of them. It'll give you a real
Oh,
headache.
jeez.
Very DIY.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Yeah. So we pull through the foliage? Is there like palm fronds that come out as we go through? Like,
Mhm.
Oh my god. There's a secret path, and the mutants understand, like they can smell, plants can sense different chemicals in the air, and they literally, like, when they sense car exhaust, then they sort of like remove themselves from the road
There you go.
because they don't like it. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Sure. Or I was thinking something that just looks like a forest, but it's on like pulleys. And
Oh,
it's
that'd
sort
be
of like,
cool.
Ah!
I like
Oh.
that.
kind
That'd
of
be
like
cool.
accordion fold pulls away.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Oh
really
my
good.
God.
That's
The
really
I don't know why
good.
it's got a very like Swiss Family Robinson kind of vibe.
Yeah.
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 That's
That's
good.
hilarious.
Good.
As you pass through that like accordion thing, you see there's the workers who are like trying to quickly trying to put it back as it like closes. They're like, no, don't let anybody else in.
Unfortunately, it's a bunch of Danny
I
DeVito
was gonna
clones.
say,
that are
how many
Yeah,
working.
it's more
Dannys?
Danny DeVito's.
No, no
Oh
more.
my god.
Oh,
So
well,
Bring
distressing.
that hand.
I know. I don't want to have
Danny
a.
DeVito Oompa Loompas? I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know how I
want to have
feel.
a labor force, please. Entry
I
Oh,
like
level
goodness.
bonus.
actual people to be doing it, not some
There you
weird
go.
genetic slavery thing happening there.
Exactly.
I'm not sure that Evensong would
Hey,
stick around.
no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Evensong is that they're actually refugees. They were a genetic experiment in the world from before, and now we've welcomed them into the enclave, and they're happy here. They're contributing.
Did they experiment with Danny DeVito because they knew that nobody would believe that anybody would experiment on Danny
Exactly.
DeVito?
The last person. Sorry, Danny, if you're tuning in. No offense
We
intended.
love you. I
We
think
love
you're
you.
amazing.
We're
I've loved you
incredible
since.
admirers of your work.
Oh, right. I
So,
want to do like a cinematic cut. So we're gonna do a cinematic cut to the before times,
okay.
and
Oh
we
Jesus!
see a a secret lab in the basement of Mesa State, and it has the DeVito code written on the door. Inside,
No.
we
It
meet.
is run by
Oh,
Rhea Perlman.
I was
Of
thinking.
course.
Thank
Of
you for
course.
reminding me that. I was thinking about that. We see
Oh,
Rhea
gracious.
Perlman, who is convincing a geneticist at Mesa State that she is showing him an old reel-to-reel projector film of the film Twins, and she is convincing
It's a
this
documentary.
geneticist that in fact Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger are twins,
Related.
and the genetic material for an Uberman is in
Careful,
Danny
careful now.
DeVito as much as I know you're right. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
like we're getting
We're getting
a
weird.
little fun.
That the genetic
Yeah,
material
now
for
we're getting
Arnold
weird.
Schwarzenegger is also inside Danny DeVito, and that if they want to work on the perfect comedian slash strongman, that's what they need to do.
Is that what the world needs?
No, but it's what
All right.
Rhea
a
Perlman is
a
convincing
strong man who
a,
can make us laugh.
a geneticist
Yeah,
to do.
apparently Rhea Perlman is also a follower of Nietzsche. So
Except she was not. She was convincing a geneticist who was a follower of Nietzsche that this needed to happen as a way
Much
of
better. That's way better. Way
bringing
better.
Danny DeVito to life into perpetuity throughout the apocalypse.
Okay.
oh my god.
And we smash back.
And we,
Yeah.
it was
Back
better
is
in my
back.
head before we did that, but smash cut back.
Fabulous. Car pulls in. Here we
Mhm.
go.
I think Knots would run up, and first thing that they would notice is that there's this extra person in the car. I don't think right away. Well, I guess they spoke with Jackbird, so they know that the trade didn't happen. But you didn't say on the call that you were bringing anybody else.
I did not.
Yeah.
So Jackbird kind of gets out of the car very slowly, sees you coming up, and then just kind of looks very ashamed because they're just like, I
Oh.
recognize that I shouldn't have brought someone in, but someone's coming in.
Okay, everybody, like, wait here a minute. We need to go through the process. Who, hello, my name is Nuts. Welcome. I'm sure you understand. We have a certain amount of security here. We cannot just let you in. Who are you and where did you come from?
Not.
Speaking to
It's me,
Tahani.
Tahani. I've been supplying the
Oh,
enclave
this
for
is
the last
Tahani.
year.
Mhm.
It's my truck. It was stolen, and I come without any supplies, and my way of life is gone with my truck. I I need somewhere to stay. I'm ready to make a go of it here in the enclave.
What relationships do you have in the outside world?
All I've got is my spirit guide, Betty, and cut off ties with Haversack, the nomad who I was intimate with in the desert. I have a feeling he's the one who let Brian know where I was going to be today. He's the one who brought the gangs upon me.
So there is someone out there who has a problem with you, and here you are arriving in our enclave today, Jackbird. I thought you knew better.
Hey, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have a problem with me, and you're just fine keeping me around. So it's one person. We could figure it out. We could send someone out to go find this haversack and get rid of him.
He's long
Maybe.
gone. He's long gone. He's not after me. He was after my truck. He's got it.
Then why would he send another gang after?
The gang, used the gang to get it.
And they just happened to see that we were nearby and coming for the pickup.
That's
Well, I am no boss, but we have a process for this, and I am concerned that if we break it one time, we break it again, then what control do we have?
Yes, okay. I am going to pull Knots aside very quickly and just be like, listen, I understand this is a really bad situation, but that person is the sole reason why I get certain supplies for our wonderful community. And I kind of need to keep them around. So if we just let them sit here for just a few days, I'll keep them hidden, dress them up. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, keep them hidden. That's fine with me. And then we can find a way to get Gilbert back, and then they can be out and away from the enclave, and I can pretend like nothing happened. Please,
And
please.
with that lovely little intro to the segue, does somebody else want to pick up gangs for me, please?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Fabulous. Because Evensong has just skipped into the gang's headquarters.
Oh God. I think at this point we're all gonna play various members of Brian's gang. I think.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Well, there's gonna be a couple things happening real quick that might sort of get rid of most of the gang members. Knots, you hear on your portable radio a little, hey, so are we missing? And then Evensong describes exactly Gilbert. 'Cause I'm over here with like this funky, like big old car, and there's a bunch of people. Do we want this?
Evensong, does anybody see you? Are you in hiding right now?
Hi, Brian.
Describe where you are quickly.
I'm over like down by the Green River, right where it used to be Palisade. There's a bunch of like peach orchards and some vineyards. It's real nice. It's real nice. I like it over here. And they used to do a lavender festival every year,
So
which is
Just in
my
that moment, you just hear Brian's voice in like the background go, "How the did you get in here?"
And I'm just gonna, as Brian is yelling, I'm just gonna ask one more time, like, do we want the car?
Yes, but we want you more. Be careful. We will come as fast as we can. I don't like when you do this. Over.
Oh, okay. And I'm gonna use one of my strong moves. Now that Brian is calling me, can I see like the rest of the gang?
Yes, you can. They're all kind of like seated around with one another. It looks like they were just in the midst of like telling stories to everybody and like kind of like passing around this little jar of caviar that they decided to take from Jackbird. And just each of them is like dipping their finger into it and then like wiping it off with like a napkin and then passing each thing over. And now all heads have like turned to you. There's about I'd say there's probably about like 8 or 9 of them.
Okay,
There, but
so
like Brian's attention is very much turned towards you.
okay, so I'm gonna look at this, and you said they're like sitting around a little fire.
Yeah. Let's say so. Yeah.
Okay, so so as you're sitting around a fire and they're telling each other stories, Evensong just sort of skips up a little closer, and they're like, "Oh my god, I love stories. Do you want to hear a really cool story?"
No, because you're not supposed to be here. What are you doing? Where did you come from?
It's a really good story, though.
Hey,
Did you
Brian,
say the-
says one of the other gang members, I like stories. I haven't heard a good one in a while.
What?
And
Fine.
as soon as you agree to hear the story, um, Evensong starts a very lilting voice telling the story of Little Red Riding Hood. And it's a story that they loved ever since they were a little child. And as they're telling it, suddenly their eyes sort of start glowing a little bit. And you can see a little red cape on them. And then when they get to the part where like the wolf comes, you can see the fur of the wolf. And then as Evensong continues with the story, when they finally get to the point where the huntsman comes and releases everyone, the gang's attention is just captured by this because Evensong knows how to tell a damn story. And in that moment when everyone's attention is on Evensong, they open themselves up and they use their strong move to summon the psychic maelstrom on the entire gang.
What does this look
Oh,
like? What does it look like?
It looks like they can see the wolf being chopped open, and suddenly they're in their senses, the illusion that's sitting in front of them. It suddenly feels as though something inside them is being sort of lopped open, that there is something's trying to force its way in, and what they is this sort of rain of blood surrounding like a little cloud above Evensong that's just blood on them. And they look forward, and Evensong just presses and releases the psychic maelstrom into the crowd over there, knowing that it will feed on the people surrounding the fire.
So
Okay. As you do that, you kind of see that there's just like this collective horror that just like grows on everyone's faces, and then they all just start like screaming and like starting to like gather all their things. You see like Brian takes off his boa and like shoves it underneath his shirt to keep it from like getting like ruined or anything. One of them is like trying to put out the fire really quickly, and then like some of them are like just like kind of like just like running away with each other. But like Brian kind of like steals himself a bit, but is unsure of really like what to do, and just kind of like stares at you for a second.
As he stands there trying to figure out what to do, the rain, the blood rain that seems to be falling on Evensong suddenly shifts. Evensong starts walking towards Brian as the rest of the gang sort of scatters, terrified of what the hell is going on. Evensong starts walking towards them, and the rain weirdly only falls down her back, creating Little Red Riding Hood's red cloak. And the rain cloud stays where it is, and the cloak seems to get longer as Evensong steps forward. And Evensong is then going to do her next strong move, which is to restrain him psychically. So suddenly he can't move. It's like he's in sleep paralysis. He can speak, but he can't move. And Evensong looks at him and says, "I'm gonna take this card."
As Evensong had started moving towards Brian, Brian had started moving back to the point when then you suddenly restrained him, and he like just mid like back step and like can't move at all, and his eyes are just like bugged, and he just like stares at you, and he's like, "Just take whatever you want. That's fine. Just leave, and like don't ever do that again, because that's fucking creepy."
And I'm going to use one more token and use my psychic gifts with artful precision, and I'm going to implant a hypnotic suggestion in him, where anytime he sees someone from the community, they will turn into a recreation of this for him. So they will actually turn into some sort of monster, whatever he's scared of most, or whatever story he's heard most recently. So every time he sees them, he's going to be terrified of who they are. So I will always be Little Red Riding Hood. There's for Brian from now on, with my long bloody cloak.
Because it's the story of like Red Riding Hood and also like the big bad wolf and like all of that. When you smile at him, your teeth kind of like elongate like in this like canine like way, and he can't move, but like you could tell he just was like 10 seconds from like just absolutely like just crying and like kneeling down on the floor and just like sobbing. And he's just like,
does he have the
get
car
away
keys?
from us?
Does he have the car keys on him?
They're in my left pocket of my.
Okay, I'm gonna reach into all of his left pockets until I find the key.
You find it in like the sort of like the pocket of his skirt that he's wearing at the moment. So you can pull it out there. You also happen to find 2 mints. So there you go, some mints for you.
2 mints.
A what? Sorry, I think I cut out there.
No, you're good. On top of the keys, you also find 2 mints in his pocket. So Merry Christmas.
2 mints?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to eat one, because obviously the universe wants me to have one, and I'm going to put a mint in his mouth and let him suck on that for a bit. I'm going to head back over to car with the new keys that I have, and I'm going to get into the driver's seat, and then I'm going to pick up the radio and call Knox. I don't know how to drive.
Okay, that's not my accent. Stay there. You can't, you're not far, like, they went there on foot, so they can't be more than, like, 10-minute drive away, so, I will bring somebody in the bike. We will be there in 10 minutes. Just lay low. Don't do anything stupid, okay?
I never do anything stupid.
I know that's not true. Over. And I think as the weather, I want to do reciprocity. A big gust of wind flies up, and like the tent sort of that everybody was sitting in as people are running away and Brian's there like mid-step, the tent flies up and catches a gust of wind, and one of the poles from the tent just like smashes into the windshield of the truck, like super close.
Oh dear.
Like doesn't harm you, but it's a bit of like the reciprocity of the weather being like, okay, be careful. And I drive up. Jackbird, do you want to jump in the sidecar? We've got to go pick up Evensong. I don't know.
Absolutely. I don't know how to drive those, so you might want to take Tahani with you.
Here.
Oh,
look.
shoot. Okay, maybe Tahani.
Gets in the sidecar.
No one knows how to drive.
Yeah, okay. Which is weird because I, Estella, don't know how to drive in real life, but
Look.
I'm in this game from.
Knots, let me just pop me in the sidecar. I can prove my worth.
Okay, it's your truck. I like grab you by the shoulders and like give you like one of my things is like eyes that see right through you. So I like look you right in the eye and I'm like, if you fuck me right now, you will regret it. Get in. And like off we go. And I like throw you a helmet as we're driving.
All right, I put on the helmet and I think you get a token because you're giving me an opportunity to prove yourself to prove myself to the community.
Ooh,
My
that's
first token.
right.
Okay.
Look at that.
Perfect.
And through you realize that you hadn't quite turned off the radio. And so you just hear you hear Evensong through it. Just singing like little show tunes to themselves in the car.
Okay. Also, no, regular moves you don't get a token, right?
No, that's just
okay.
something you can do anytime.
Okay. I have done one of those, but it doesn't matter. Okay. So I assume we get there pretty quick because they were on foot, so they couldn't have got that far. So Tahani. I really like hummus. Let it be.
It's fantastic.
So we get there, and I think I noticed the smashed windshield first from the tent spoke, and I like jump out and I like almost dive like head first, rip open the thing because I'm afraid that like Evensong is going to be hurt, and then they're just there like, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what in that? What is happening?
What?
Where is everybody? Where is Brian? Is Brian still? How long would Brian be frozen for?
Yeah, wait, how long is Brian frozen?
Until you say he's not frozen anymore.
Is Brian? Oh, and you said like anyone from the enclave, right?
Yeah. So is Brian still like lying there in the sand?
Brian is still there, and then you sees Knots come in. And is immediately met with like 2 Red Riding Hoods, and like I was like, you just hear this audible like sobbing noise come from their mouth, but like nothing is happening on its face.
Okay, what is this? What is happening here?
I don't know. He just doesn't. I don't know. I don't think he can handle his psychic maelstrom.
Please take your things and leave, please. Go away.
And as you say that, Nox's Red Riding Hood, Stage Red Riding Hood, and Evensong turns into the actual wolf now, and just starts singing Broadway show tunes.
Oh my god, it's fantastic! All right, so I push Evensong over, and I'm like, we're going back to the enclave, and
just wait 1 minute. We don't leave people like this. Give me 2 minutes. And I think I kind of like go over to Brian and like shake him and be like, look, we're taking the truck back because it's not yours. You leave us alone and we will leave you alone, okay? And I think I take a tarp. I probably have like an old tarp in the sidecar and just kind of like wrap it around him and try and like at least sit him down and relight the fire and be like, I don't know what happened here and I don't think I want to know. Just leave us alone, okay?
Okay. Trust me, you'll never see hide nor hair of me ever again.
Okay. And I guess I hop back on the bike and like start heading back. That's how you drive a
And I'm-
motorcycle, right? I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Yep.
And you say vroom vroom
Vroom,
while you're
vroom.
doing it. That's actually what makes it go.
Good.
It's true.
That's what I
We're
thought.
A lot of
almost
you say it the faster it goes.
all right. So we have just seen Knots head off on their Harley, and now Evensong and Tahani are in Gilbert. Tahani is at the driver's seat. You have a 1993 Chevy S10. It's been lowered, and it has one of those pop-up back things. Does anyone know the technical name for those things?
I don't
It has
know.
one of those. It has one of those camper backs on it.
Oh,
That's what I've
okay.
always called it. Just a camper.
An
Sure.
armored camper
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
or whatever.
Armored.
It's
Wow,
armored.
wow.
Well, it's stated specifically that I drive an like that is in my playbook. I drive an armored delivery truck.
Okay.
So it's an armored back, but like the rest, like the truck itself is definitely plated, but it's all been painted like this very bright canary yellow.
Oh.
And the back is like just steel plating. Like the camper top is just like steel plating. It might even be like made out of corrugated steel from old shipping containers. It's just like jerry rigged together. It's Evensong doesn't seem to understand quite how a stick shift works, so Tahani just like
I think it's
gets-
less that Evensong doesn't understand.
it's that you kind of are
Evensong
don't understand that it's important to my use of.
Okay.
I was
I just
thinking
wanted
like
to be clear.
you're kind of not.
Evensong doesn't care.
Yeah, like you're kind of in
Like,
the
that's
middle.
all.
Like you're in the middle. It's just like you're oblivious to the fact that I need this shifter, which is it's a magic 8-ball. Like it's not just like an 8-ball, but it's actually got like a magic 8-ball in it. So I just like
So awesome.
I try to like at first gently nudge Evensong, and then I just like lift Evensong's leg and like up over the shifter, and
Does the magic
And
8-ball come up with like a
great.
different gear each time? It'll just show up
actually,
randomly
that would
with
be amazing.
reverse. or, like-
So yeah, it tells the gear, but like once I hit cruise control, then it starts like giving. It used to work. It used to give predictions of like what the road was like ahead, but it doesn't work anymore.
No.
And so I pop it in reverse to get out of this like camp area. I pop the clutch real hard, but it's reversed, so it doesn't really like blow the wheels or anything. But then I do a J turn, and Gilbert just like goes around and pop it into first and blow out the mud. It's still raining. There's mud all over the camp. Puts out the campfire, and we just like go off back towards the enclave.
While Evensong is singing show tunes in the back. No.
Well, I know Jackbird hasn't like moved at all. So when you guys go through that gate, Jackbird is right there, just like waiting very eagerly. And there's like I assume there's like a group of people starting to form behind Jackbird of like people wanting to get their supplies for the week. And Jackbird's just like kind of like nervously like just ignoring them for a moment, just being like, "Don't worry, they'll come soon. Don't worry, your supplies will be here soon. Don't worry about it."
I think when Knots gets in, like they're a good person, but their one weakness is they're a little vain, as we talked about last time. So I think they purposely, because it's all raining and stuff, they like get off the Harley and take the helmet off and do a I'm gonna like wet hair flip just because.
I would
Amazing.
I would like to do a regular move and use my psychic abilities with unexpected results. So, what are the unexpected results that happen to you as you're doing this fabulous hair flip?
Oh my god. Oh, okay. I'm gonna make it good because why not? I feel like literally if you're like facing knots, like right behind there's this like bolt of lightning. Like as they do this. And it's like a whole
Oh,
movie
man.
moment.
That's good.
Yes. And everyone just stops talking to Jackbird.
For like a split
And
second.
everyone, oh. And you realize there's a sort of wave of understanding. It's like, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a moment in passing. And then I will actually, because we're trying to get these in, I will say to Tahani, I will say thank you for handling yourself out there. Good driving. Is there anything broken on Gilbert that I can fix for you?
I think the rear axle was a little bit
Oh shit.
out back there. I think it could be.
Serious.
I think the pause attraction needs to be looked at.
You see the radio tower over there? Underneath there is my garage.
Yeah,
You bring Gilbert over there tonight. I will fix for you.
I'll bring him over. Now, to ask of the Earth itself, what time of day are we looking at here?
I would say it's like still only like noon, maybe. That took a few hours.
That's fantastic.
Only
Yeah.
noon.
Yeah.
And we've been
It's been a morning.
Yeah, it's been
in the morning.
Yeah,
Okay, who's up for lunch?
right. I mean, we do have the supplies. Actually,
As I say, we can all have lunch if I can start unloading the supplies. If
So let's
anyone
go
wants to
Tuesday,
help.
guys. Taco
As you
Tuesday.
say,
Taco
who
Tuesday.
wants
Pancake
one?
dinner at the
Evensong
fridge.
has stepped out of the car, has stepped out of Gilbert, and it looks like there was like the window on the camper hadn't quite latched properly for some reason, and as it's being driven away, just this glass container full of like fabulous like peaches just falls into Evensong's hand and just pops it open,
Oh, that's
starts
fun.
eating peaches.
That's good. All right. So as we're I'll drive Gilbert over to the market, but once we're out and waiting for lunch to be prepared, Tahani calls Rhyme over and pulls a leather-bound book out of their pocket and says, "Look, Rhyme, I know we had our differences back in the car, but I've had this with me since I was a teenager. Not that old now, but it's been, 10, 15 years, and I don't know what this book's about. It's got all sorts of ancient mysteries in it, I think. Do you know anything about this? You look like a holy person."
Yeah, I'll say Rhyme maybe like picks it up, kind of looks at it, and doesn't really doesn't open it up or crack the spine or anything, and then starts looking around and looking for Evensong, and says like, I think Evensong might be able to help us out with this. Do some kind of reading, or they're much more in tune with the maelstrom than I am.
Is this something having to do with the males?
Maelstrom. I'm actually picturing it as MAIL, the maelstrom.
Yes.
So it's
Mail.
A
the mail
storm.
system.
It's like a bunch of
The
letter mail,
USPS
just like
broke down. No,
What
so
this book
I'm
look
trying. I'm trying to do a weak move, appealing to prophecy or cosmic forces.
Oh.
So
Okay.
go
Okay.
looking for
We
Evensong
can do
and
this.
Yeah.
You find
okay.
Evensong with very sticky hands and face, covered in peach juice,
Per
with
normal.
many,
I'm just like is my tea in this book or something? Because I don't understand. Like this is I just care about my fucking tea, and so
You
anyway.
say that, and Jackbird comes behind you and is just like, "Here's your crate of tea. Please go away now." All right. I'll see you next week.
leave me alone.
Stop asking for your goddamn tea.
Right. So I'm just
God
sort of
bless.
hanging out under a tree, with
Covered in
like
peach juice,
just peach juice everywhere,
as
like
one
peach
does.
pits around me, and
How
like
did
an
you get
empty
it?
glass
How did you get
container.
peach juice on the back of your head? Like that is. Anyway,
Well,
whatever.
I wiped my hands on the tree, and then I forgot, and then I put my head against the tree.
Doesn't matter. That's fine.
Now
That's fine.
there's peaches.
That's wonderful. That's part of your charm. It's part of your charm. So we've got a book here. Do you mind taking a look at this and doing your and just see if you get anything from this?
I'm not sure
Please.
what my
Please.
is, but
You know what it is. You know
okay,
what it is.
all right.
Do your radio show, get out cards, something.
Sure.
I'm wondering if
So I
someone
open.
should pick up the Psychic Maelstrom because this is my book. Like, if I'm trying to learn about it, does someone else want to pick that up
So
before
I
this
need.
happens?
So what does it say on the cover?
It's actually like in another language that I have not been able to read even.
Oh, okay. Then I would actually like to fulfill one of my sort of basic tenets, which is that the psychic maelstrom actually needs me for a higher purpose.
Mhm.
And I would like to then pull out Society Intact and say that randomly I happen to read Mandarin, which is what this is actually written in. I had to study it in school, and I did an exchange year in China
Wow.
as a teenager. And I just pick it up, I look at it, and I just start sort of flipping through it, reading through it, and I just look up and I say, you probably want to take this to, knots, because it's on the creation of nanotechnology and how you can utilize it to build entire cities, stuff like that.
Well, I think are there any nanotechnology facilities anywhere here? Are we able to
I mean, this
access
book
them?
was written in China. I don't I don't know if there's any here. I don't think Mesa State was big enough to actually have a nanotech lab or anything. I don't know. I'm not a tech guy, you know. Uh yeah, Nazis though. I don't I'm still hungry. And as I say that, a plum, I'm just like, I'm hungry. And then a plum just falls into my hand from the tree that I'm sitting under. And I start eating it.
That's
Get
so irritating.
a little,
Ah.
a little more juice everywhere.
And it's getting on the back of your head again. Like, how does
Yeah,
this keep happening? I don't.
it's amazing.
I throw my hands up. I throw my hands up.
Look, I think Gilbert has been unloaded. Rhyme, why don't you throw that tea into the back of him, and all the Dannies can hop on and sit on the tailgate, and I need to go and see Knots anyway.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me use Gilbert, and happy that we got the tea back.
Of course.
Yeah. So I guess we hop on the back and head off.
All right.
Well, I think when you head over, I mean, I don't know, it's up to Jackbird, but I think that I would have invited Jackbird over as well to see what they brought for me, aka for Marie, this
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. You watch as Jackbird sets down this crate, and it's specifically, you see that it's marked specifically as like for Marie. And they start pulling out little things. There's a jar of just like chamomile like leaves that have been dried up, that's there as a sort of tea. They pull out this weird like sock that's filled with something, and they kind of like just hold it out to you, and they're like, just trust me with this. Warm it up over like a stove, the fire, or something. Hold it there. It gets really warm. The stuff that's inside of it, and then if you just like rest it on the shoulders, anywhere that like there's any sort of pain, I promise you it'll work. It works wonders. I have one of these. Would highly recommend. And then they also pull out this very like pretty like cashmere like shawl, to just kind of like have, either for you to work with if you would like, or for Marie to just have with her, just to keep her warm a little bit. And then the final thing that they pull out is just a little nice bar of chocolate. Very nice, like expensive chocolate. And just pulls that out and sets it right there. And
A little
That's so nice.
little Calibo chocolate.
Yeah, sure.
Look at you.
Again, references I don't understand, but I think Knots would say, Jackbird, it's too much. Take the chocolate back to your cafe, make some hot chocolate.
No, it is the least I can do, and she needs anything to help ail her. Just anything to help ail her. So please take it for the both of you to use, to have, to enjoy. It's nice to have the finer things in life when things just seem to be a little bit rough.
Before you go, and I think maybe just then, like as we're finishing our conversation, you roll up with the truck. So they're just outside rolling up as I'm saying to Jackbird. Just before you go, I made you something. It's not much, but I've been learning how to, out back the little shed I was building, the secret. I was building a kiln, and I wanted to make sure that it worked before I told the community. And this is the first thing I made, and I present them with this okay, but clearly lovingly made big coffee mug that says bird on it, and it just has like the front, like kind of just like nicely carved in like the front of a Cadillac, and it just says bird coming up the back. And I'm like, it's my first mug. I think it will work. I put some boiling water in. It did not break. Just a thank you for your care.
Thank you. It's beautiful, and you kind of see like there's tears in their eyes a little bit, and they kind of like sniff, and they're like, "This is great. I will be using this every day. Trust me. I will be walking around the market with it. Show everyone how great of a craft."
And you can tell maybe tonight we have a nice dinner in the market, and I will announce, of course, like everything, the kiln is for everybody, but I didn't want to say until I was sure it was working. But it looks like we can use the clay from down the hill, and seems to fire pretty well. So, anyways,
wait for everybody to be using it. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
definitely. And maybe make things for trade next time. But it looks like we have visitors. And I head to the door and like let you all in, hurry you in because it's raining.
Oh, that made me a little verklempt right there.
Oh, there's So as you let everybody in, you notice that Evensong is sort of trailing in the back too. Just somehow managed to wander over there.
Come in, you're getting wet, come in. And I think that, like, Marie is like, I pass her the chocolate, and Marie's sort of in the back and just kind of waves at everybody and kind of looks at me. I'm like, I know a newcomer, don't worry, they're okay. And Marie just kind of like nods in the back. Okay, so your truck is outside. I will fix first thing in the morning. It's not too easy to fix when it's raining. As you know, I need to get the jack, and I don't want to do it in the mud, but I promise in the morning I will fix for you.
Well, that's...
You're more than welcome to stay at one of the lodgings that I have. I will give you the best of the best. We will make sure that you're properly fed, properly taken care of. Anything you need.
Oh, you all are just the most welcoming individuals. I don't want to take Gilbert out there to do any more trading. I think I need to settle down. But I have a favor to ask, and Evensong has told me that this book has secrets of nanotechnology, and before the apocalypse, I was training in nanotechnological engineering. Knots, can you help me fire up the old nanotech foundry here, and maybe we can
We
maybe
do
we can find a
have
way
a
of
science lab.
not needing to
Tech
actually rely on trade. Maybe we can become self-sufficient. And with that, as that happens, the cell phone that I carry in my pocket, which it doesn't get great signal, but all of a sudden it starts beeping, and it's an early, like, it's like one of those contractor phones, but it's a contractor smartphone. It's one of the, like, Galaxy Rugbies, and it starts going off, and it's nothing I've ever seen before. What's the digital realm bringing to me?
Ooh. I think Pete froze.
Shit.
I was about to say, did we lose
digital
Pete
realm
again?
That's so
nothing.
funny. Oh no.
No digital realm for you, sir.
I just got
well, while we're waiting,
The
while we're
blank
waiting for
screen.
Pete, you see, as you all have been talking, you haven't sort of noticed Evensong sort of going through the shelves and seeing things. You just sort of, that's sort of what they do, and so you sort of have stopped sort of noticing it. But then you hear this funky little thing happening where you see him over next to Marie with two empty glass jars, like talking into the glass jars and making funny voices and things like that, sort of amuse her. And you realize that one of the glass jars had all the chamomile leaves in it right before this.
Oh.
And there's yeah. So
I think Marie's going to deal with that. I mean, she's sickly, but she's not like, I think she's like, okay, look, I need this tea. Can you? I'm like, I just kind of look over, like, and I'm like,
oh, do you? And you see that there was a weird herb that you were keeping this other one that was growing from one of the mutated vines that you had, like, dried out. And nobody really knew what it did. And Evensong had emptied both of them into a bucket so that he could play with the glass jars. And as you smell what's going on, you realize that, like, just the smell of it makes you want to go to sleep. And you realize this is going to be a really powerful sedative and painkiller that nobody knew about yet. Because Evensong needs to play with glass jars sometimes. Right.
We got our sleepy time tea. Extra potent.
And so, yeah, Tahani's looking at, does someone else want to pick up the digital realm? Or do we want to riff on this?
Should we give it a second and just wait?
Yeah.
I feel like it's an important thing to, like...
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe Pete wants to just give it 30 seconds and see if he pops back in. I do
Look,
before right as the nanotechnology thing comes up, and just before your phone beeps, I'm gonna just like jump in there really quickly, and just say, I have one token. I'm gonna use a strong move, and to decipher the hidden logic of a troubling situation.
Ooh.
So I think I'm gonna say, "Oh my goodness, there is a science lab, in the building, in the science building. I have kept it locked because I didn't want to mess up what was in there. I don't know a lot about it, but I can get us in with maybe the information in this book. We can start it up."
With that, I'm going to I'm gonna threaten. Evensong using a weak move to get a second token, just in case we need it, because I used that first one.
You are threatening Evensong, who just got Gilbert back for you.
You got Gilbert back, but you just spilled Marie's tea. And so let me spill some tea. You know how to speak Mandarin. You know what's in this book. I need you to, when we get into that lab, you need to focus and read every word that we need, because we are going to make this enclave self-sufficient. It's the last goddamn thing I do. And
Evensong is just gonna like look you dead in the face, having now been threatened, and is going to use one of their strong moves, and you suddenly feel like a stinging behind your eyes, and you close your eyes and sort of rub them to see what's going on, and when you open them up, Evensong's gone.
Shit.
No one knows where he went.
Jackbird, does that shit happen often? This is like, this day is it's 1 o'clock.
I find that sometimes it's best not to question it. It's just the way of Evensong. Don't question it. Don't.
So I'm gonna ask. So
wait, what time of year were we?
We were talking like
if there are peaches, then you are in August.
August? Okay. So it's like the beginning. So let's say by the time we like teaser, it's a few weeks later. It's a bright fall morning. Knots wakes up and rolls over to the sound of Marie coughing so hard like Knots has never heard before. Knots jumps out of bed, brews some of this like chamomile mixed with herb tea, and makes it into this beautiful like large bowl mug that just, you can see it scrawled into it. It says "My love," and hands Marie the tea and says, "I'm going to do it. We're going to go in today. That's not my accent. We're going to do it. Today I am going into the science lab. I don't know what is in there or anything, if it will work. I haven't seen Evensong in 2 weeks. I'm going to open the lab and I'm going to go after them. I don't know what this can help, but it's the technology of the future, and you are in that future with me. Okay?" And Marie nods. And Knots like straps all of her backpacks and things on their back, gets on the Harley and drives sort of like the 10 minutes into the university. And you see they walk up to this door that has been like haphazardly sort of shut with like different pieces of metal, different locks, all kinds of things. And you see them take out like crowbars and keys and locks, and they like creak open this door, pull out a flashlight, and flash it into this room, and all you see, just for a second, is a bunch of chrome. And that's it.
Oh my goodness. That's so funny that Pete just came back.
You missed my teaser.
Okay. Yeah. His eyes are moving. All right, yes, he moved.
Yeah. So Pete.
All right, so let me be clear. So it's 2 weeks later, you haven't seen Evensong at all, and you just stepped in, and it's just a whole lab like full of chrome,
Yeah.
and like stainless steel. Okay, so nice clean lab.
Yeah.
And with that, we see several hours or days later, after we've worked together to get the lab equipment working, we see dim blue lights, 4 Dannies on these pads, and in between them there's like this levitating table, and each one has a finger on the corner of Tahani's smartphone, and they're moving around the table like a Ouija board. I forget the word for the thing for a Ouija board, and they're moving it around.
Planchette.
Planchette, yes, they're moving it around like a Ouija planchette. Thank you, Pete.
Good deep cut,
And
dude.
they're moving it around, and they're all speaking. It starts out as a chorus, but then they each are individually adding word by word voices to a long lost poem. And Pete, what we're doing right now is giving a 30-second preview of Act 2.
Oh boy. Okay.
So whatever your character was doing in the next couple weeks after, basically.
I see.
Yeah. So things that happened while you were gone. The new guy threatened Evensong. Evensong disappeared. Apparently has
Boy.
been gone for 2 weeks. He tried to get Evensong to read the entire book and tell them what was in it because he
My
can read
gosh.
Mandarin.
Okay.
And Evensong did not take it very well, and so he disappeared.
Okay.
Then Knots went to the science lab, opened it up, discovered that it was in perfect condition. You know,
Nice.
just everything chrome, everything steel, beautiful. And then Steven went in and started having a Ouija board with
Little seance.
4
poetry
Dannies.
slam.
4 Dannies.
Turning into a
So-
sci-fi show, and I'm not mad.
right there. So the Dannies are now doing something interesting and speaking in poem.
Okay. The four Dannies of the apocalypse, I guess. Okay.
So
Is
what
that-
are you doing?
man, I don't know. I feel like this is all very like psychic maelstrom type stuff going on. So
There's digital realm to it as well.
yeah, I guess, but
there's also
you know.
also an occult ritual potentially happening in the science lab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like Rhyme would be kind of like pushing back against this because Rhyme is more about like the people and the like the community and kind of that aspect of the religion. So I think especially with the disappearance of Evensong, like I think he was kind of seeing Evensong as his ability to sort of keep a pulse on what was happening with the psychic maelstrom. But now, if Evensong has disappeared, then there's sort of a panic to it, and he's sort of like the church might become more of a fortress in that circumstance. And so I would say over 2 weeks, he's kind of maybe anti-science. I hate to say, but like a little weirded out by what's going on in the lab, and kind of maybe even frothing up his followers to kind of be prepared for something bad happening there.
All right. Yeah, what's Jackbird up to?
I feel like let's say it's about that same time that there's the weird occult seance thing going on in the nanotech lab. It's around that same morning. that you kind of see Jackbird walking through the marketplace, kind of talking, greeting with people, kind of same as they usually do, holding their new mug that they have been so graciously gifted, and just always like nodding with it, that sort of thing, like making sure that it's clear that it's out. And then like it's fall time, so Jackbird is kind of like making sure that things like decorations are getting set up. There's like gourds all around the place that they have been able to supply from like an outside dealer, and they're like walking around helping, kind of motioning where to put things, and then they walk back into their own bar area, and there's these stacks of ledgers just kind of like laying out, because now that Tahani is no longer a big supplier for Jackbird, Jackbird's very anxiously trying to figure out what to do, how to kind of reassert those supply lines. And so the last shot you kind of see is them just kind of like leaning over the books, preparing a couple drinks on the side to bring up to Tahani and the Dannies eventually, but mostly just like looking at their ledger and just like very clearly kind of worried about how it is that they're going to supply these things for their community. So
Okay. Fun.
When you said gourds, I was so afraid you were going to go to pumpkin spice lattes.
Oh,
no, not
So
yet,
sure.
not yet. Act 2 though,
Hey,
it's going to be
man.
pumpkin spice lattes all day.
So, so first of all, a question: how many Dannies are?
They're clones. I mean,
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the cloning facility is actually still active.
well, but I think
know.
I think the last session I did suggest that perhaps they like use cellular reproduction, but that was not made canon. I just suggested it, and they like occasionally just like divide in half.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to remove that from canon, as it just creates a weird
too much of a weird clown car effect.
Yeah. There's too much craziness that can happen with that.
Yeah.
The borders of reality start shattering.
Yeah.
So why don't we say there were a lot of them? You rescued a lot of them. So let's say maybe like 30 of them. There's like 30 of them.
Sure. I was thinking like a dozen was a lot. 30?
Yeah.
There's 30 Danny DeVitos running around. Okay, but like that's
they all dress
a
the
lot.
same and they all look like each other.
Gosh.
And
no, they all have very distinct personalities, and they're all like like they all.
Well,
have
I was thinking it would be
needs,
fun if there were
desires.
like all Danny DeVitos from like different walks of Danny DeVito life from different roles. Like one's One Flew
Different
Over the Cuckoo's Nest, one's Taxi, one's It's Always Sunny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then, all right, what's going on with Evensong, who has disappeared? So over the course of the next few weeks, people start noticing that certain Dannies have just disappeared. And where they would normally hang out, a tarot card will suddenly be there.
Oh my God.
With no sort of rhyme or reason to it. And this goes on for several weeks until you find the Dannies in the nanotech lab making poems with a planchette. And every line of the poem has something to do with one of the tarot cards that have been found. And as the poem, every day the Dannies get a little further in the poem. And as the poem begins to resolve itself, you can tell it's starting to come to an end. The last line of each stanza keeps getting repeated, which is, await the coming of the star. The new world will not be far. And Evensong, after 3 weeks, appears at the gates with Crocker around his neck and an army of Dannies at his back.
Uh-oh.
Oh
What's
my
gonna
god.
happen? I can't wait.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Wow.
I'll
That
say.
was
I mean, you don't know.
Hey.
Evensong, who knows? Who
That
knows
was
what's going on with
wild.
Evensong?
I think you
It
do,
might be
Kyle. I think you
something
know,
nice.
Kyle.
That was
Yeah.
wild. I think we should all give Kyle a hand for that. And with that, this has been an amazing 4 Mondays, and I can't wait to continue working with you all. I want to thank each and every one of you for
Yay.
playing this game with me, and I want to thank each and every one of you out there for watching this. Remember that we all do this both out of the goodness of our hearts, and some of us are doing this as a way to start, as ventures. So we've all got our socials in the description for the show. I really encourage you to check out the links in the doobly-doo, as they all say, because I think we're all putting some good stuff in the world, and I'd like you to check it out.
And it really helps following and subscribing, like going and checking out the socials. It really actually does help any creator. Just play with that algorithm, kids.
Yeah, it feels good. And if nothing else, it makes us feel good. But it does help. And I want to keep doing this. This is fun. It's a good way to spend my Mondays. And up next, we're going to be doing Monster of the Week. Kat, Kyle, and Pete will be sticking around. Stella's going to be slipping out, but we're going to have Allie from Dice Drop joining us. And she's fantastic. I enjoy Dice Drop, and I'm looking forward to bringing that energy to Monster of the Week. So keep in touch. We're going to take a 2-week break in between games to set up the next one, and I will see you there. Have a good
Fabulous
last half of your September, folks. Stay safe, get vaccinated, and let's have a good fall.
Pumpkin spice lattes.
That's where they should
Broadway
put the
show
vaccine.
soon.